Can you start? Please start! I'm really stuck in starting, maybe.
Okay, Priska and I want to welcome you to this next video, and we want to thank you very much for all the comments we got on our latest videos, and yeah, so we thought the time was ripe to do another one, and today we would like to talk about having fears in a relationship, because we, as most of you know, are now like a year together. Um, and it has been quite a roller coaster, and it still is at some times. And there has been lots and lots of fears popping up. So this is, the subject we want to talk about today.
Without a plan.
Without a plan, we never make plans.
We never make plans.
So I can share you one of mine, because as you know, I have been married and I have 2 kids and I have a job. I work in a school for special needs children, and I work 5 days. 5 days. That sounds very Irish. I work 5 days a week, and yeah, in the weekends I do stuff with my kids and I do the weekly groceries, and so this is my life. Actually, has been my life. And when I learned Priska.
When you learn me, it's so great. You're still learning, Priska.
When I met Priska, well, she was this life coach, and she was an actress, and she didn't have like a very scheduled week, if I may say that.
This is true.
So she was living a very free life, and I, at some point, really got scared about this because I thought, well, this time I already knew that Priska would come to Holland, and I was really frightened because I thought, I must be so boring for this woman, like a 44-year-old with a, in Holland we say it, huisje, boompje, beestje life. It's like
sorry.
It's like house, tree, animal, like a perfect scheduled daily life with a family and with children and with 5 days a week working. I really was very fearful that she would end up being bored out of her skull and that she wouldn't like me anymore because of all the things that I just expressed.
Sorry, it was just a breathing.
Okay. And in the beginning, I find it very hard to express this to her because in my head, it was okay when I express it. When I express this, I might plant a seed in her head, which will blossom, and then shit will hit the fan. And if I look to my former relationships, if something really got to me and really frightened me and hurt me, if it was like flooding out of its boundaries, then I would express it. But most of the times, I wouldn't actually. Yeah. So in the beginning, I swallowed this as well. I thought, well, let's just try to live in the moment and let's see what happens. But it stuck very hard to me. It stuck into my energy and to my system, and so at some time I had to express it. And actually, she reacted very, I don't know the English word.
Say in Dutch.
Begripful.
Understanding.
Understanding, yeah. And she always also tried to comfort me in this, and not because out of going across her own borders just to comfort me, but it felt really sincere.
Yes. Yes, and I was very grateful that you actually addressed this to me, because this showed me that you really cared about me and that you truly saw me in what I was doing also, and that you were like, when you opened up with your fears to me in general, but in this one especially now, I, I saw that you truly loved me, and that you were feeling safe enough to address your fears, and I felt very honored that you expressed that to me. And I could, because I haven't actually really haven't been thinking about it at all. This was not a thing I was ever thinking of or about, because actually I was looking for some kind of stability, because I'm such a swooshy wooshy person, and I used to be very swooshy wooshy at that time in my life, and I had no structure at all, and I just knew that I need actually a man who has more structure than I have. Otherwise, I'm going lost. I'm getting lost. Well, I could give myself structure, but this actually was what I felt like. I'm such on this side of how do you say that, of the range. I needed somebody on the other side of the range, and that's what I expressed to him. But actually, it's just more that he opened up to me with this fear, and that he showed his true thoughts, and this honored me and touched me deeply. And I could also express. It was like an invitation for myself to express my fears to you as well.
Yeah, because I think that's what it's all about. If you feel safe enough to open up, if Priska opens up to me, of course she does it to release some stuff from her heart and from her shoulders. But in the end, it gives me so much as well, because it gives me a safe space to express my feelings and my fears and my shit as well. And to come back to the fear we were talking about, because Priska like acknowledged me in this fear of mine. With that, she also learned me that, because I always thought that you had to show your potential, and potential to me was something big. Like you have to do, I don't know, you have to have a big business, or you have to be a star on the television, or you have to be some sort of Mother Ama, the hugging lady, or the Mother Teresa, or whatever. But actually, and in the back of my head, I already knew, but fears can bury so much of your existential feelings, that this, what Priska told me, or that she like saw me and who I was, really made me feel that, oh, it's okay. I can show my potential in the small things, because you don't have to be a big hotshot, or a big guru, or someone who's always on Facebook doing great stuff. It's okay if you are, but if you're not, you have to try to see your potential as well, because everybody has it, and it doesn't have to be big and dramatic. You can seek it also in the small things.
Yeah, because for me, you weren't small at all.
Yeah.
For me, you weren't. This was one of my fears, because I thought, like, man, God, this man is so. How do you say that? Awakened is the wrong term, but like so present and see so many things. Oh my God, am I ready to yeah, or am I not too small or too girlish or too stupid, or I don't know. It was one of my fears actually back then.
That you thought you were childish.
Yes, or that I'm just not that awakened or that smart or that wise, and because you always had these very spot on comments on stuff, especially on Facebook, and also when we were together, you were that he was so calm and so centered, and I was always blonde, and I felt that, and I was like this swooshy douchey thing, and I thought, oh my God, how am I acting? And this is who I am. I am like that. It's not that I was playing something. It's just who I am. Sometimes I'm also very calm. I have both sides. Um, so this was a fear of mine, that I could be too girlyish for you, or too swooshy-ish, or too unstructured, or too unserious somehow.
Yeah. And have you at some point tried to push the childishness away?
Of course.
To satisfy me?
Yes.
And what happened then when you did that?
Well, actually, this nourished my fear. because you were responding very well to what I said, because I tried to be very smart at these moments, and I thought like, yes, okay, he really likes that, and I tried to push this other side of me kind of away, but well, just partially, because when we met, I showed up as fully me, because I never had any intentions. This just started when it got serious between us. Before, I was just being my stupid, girlishy, also smart and wise, whatever. Just me, myself, yeah. And you saw everything of me, but just when I met you in real life, and I felt, oh my god, this is it. Then these fears came up, because you were so. And I thought like, oh my god, he's like this 44-year-old man. Not the age never bothered me, but more like he has a stable life. He has these kids. He has this. I don't know, it's such a tangible real life, and now I'm like this, boo, 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 boo. What does he want with me? He's going to be crazy with me, and yeah, this is what I thought. So, if you wouldn't have expressed that to me, I would have never expressed the other way around. I don't even know if I told you back then.
Yes,
Did I?
you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are many fears actually that pop up in relationships.
Yeah.
And last time we talked about it, about the body consciousness, the
Did we?
body issues.
Yeah. Body issues, yes.
And then a friend of mine, Barry Visser, or Bear Fisker, he commented that he would like to know more what kind of body issues, because he wanted us to go more deep into it. Well, I had lots of body issues, and mostly this is like people see this in women, or women are more open about it, or it's more in the media. But men actually have quite the same. Because Priska, in the beginning, or she still does that, she always posted these pictures about this big, muscular, tattooed, bearded man.
We're talking about Pinterest. Just that
Still,
we know.
Still,
yes,
but you did.
Okay.
And you do, which is totally okay, actually. But this gave me somehow the impression, and that has nothing to do with her, but with my insecurity, of course, that this was the man she was going for. And I already, in the beginning, now not anymore, but I already found it difficult that I was like 11 years older. And then I saw all these pictures, and I thought I was boring, or I would be boring at some point. So I really had some fears about my body as well. I thought my legs were too sticky, too thin. Like, I'm 44 and I'm starting to develop some sort of a muffin top. I just learned this word. That's like the belly fat,
over,
something.
Yeah.
And I used to be, because in 2011 I have been ill. I had cancer, and I had lots of chemos going on. And before I went ill, I was like, I went to the gym, and I worked out, and I was quite muscular. And now not anymore. So this really was an issue for me. And even, and I know this is stupid, because I always see discussions about this on internet, that it doesn't matter. But even as a guy, if you jump into a new relationship, that you are conscious about the size of your dick. Even this, not that it was a big issue, but even that sometimes switched through my head. Yeah, so this actually are things that happen in guys as well. So it's not only a women's thing, body consciousness and body issues.
No, it's not. But I learned this also with you. Of course, I knew that guys have issues as well, but I mean, like, I am dealing with body issues or body positivity, or just learning to love my body for so many years, because I don't know, some of you know or don't know, I had a eating disorder before. I was very thin, and And before I was never fat, but I was just chubby, a chubby child. And so I have been in war with my body for ages. And so this, of course, was also fear of mine when he dropped into my life. And to really believe him that he loves my curves and that he loves even my cellulite, which I found for so many years so disgusting. And now I find my peace, but that somebody else really from the outside can love that as much as I do, or embrace it. It's not always that I love it, but I really embrace it and just finding peace with it. This was an issue for me as well. And actually it helped me that you expressed also your issues, to see, hey, I'm not alone in this game, and that I also could tell him that I think he's gorgeous. And
yeah,
and because it doesn't, perhaps it didn't help because I always told him that he wasn't my type.
yeah, this
This didn't help as well, I think, because I told him it's the truth. I'm just being honest, yeah, because I really have never been into redheads, or I don't know, small nosed, uncurly. Yeah, I don't know, and I mean I have been living in also this kind of acting scene, and there are many very like stylish guys and young guys, and who are very, I don't know, just different guys. And I was almost more the kind of girl who went for the southern, how do you say that? Southern looking kind
Mediterranean
of, yes,
type of guy.
Yes. And so I told him I wouldn't have seen him, and that's the truth, because I wouldn't have seen him. And now he totally changed my perspective. And I think, and I mean that, I really think he's the most beautiful man on earth. And it's not just talking. I really see his beauty now. And even when I saw him the first time, when he was looking like Peter the Clown, I wasn't giving a fuck about how he looked, because I really fell in love with his soul first. So the looks didn't matter, but now I also fell in love with his looks. So, but I think this didn't support you in the beginning, when I was, because we were always so straight in the head with everything. So I told him that he actually wasn't my type before so very much now.
Yeah. So this actually is very important, that you at every point dare to express what lives inside of you. Might it be happiness, over the topish happiness, like being a child actually, like be it fear, be it anger, be it guilt, because we both have suffered very much of guilt.
This was the most hard part for me.
For me as well, I think.
Oh, neediness. For me, also. To admit that. Do you want? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Just go on.
Now, for me, it was like the time when I was freshly in the Netherlands, and yeah, I just had to manage everything on my own. Whew. And he was still living with his ex-wife. And I knew that he had so much on his plate. I just kind of wanted to protect him from my feelings of being alone and actually needing him. Fuck, this is still so shitty hard.
Yeah, I remember this. And at one point she called me, like crying, her eyes out, like really this body crying, that your oh body cries with you. And I felt very shitty because she was sitting there in her little hippie den in Apkoude, and I was here still in this difficult situation, and I couldn't go to her. And she blamed me actually for that as well. Why can you not come here? I'm sitting here alone crying my fucking butt off, and you are there and you won't even come. And it wasn't like that I didn't want to come, but what she said, there was so much on my plate. My head was so full that I didn't feel the space for that. So the only thing I could do was just express this to her. I feel you and I hear you, but I cannot be there for you now. Only like this, like phoning or Skyping or WhatsApping or whatever.
This wasn't at that point not possible neither. We couldn't Skype, we couldn't phone, we could not do anything. And this was killing me.
We could app.
Yes, and I was so fucking tired of apping all the time, and I just needed somebody to talk to. And I knew, I saw very much that you couldn't do that, and my normal me would just have shut down, fenced up, and just like, oh, do whatever you want. I don't fucking care what you do. I can manage. I know I can manage. And I knew that I could manage, and at the same time, I felt the need of connecting or letting you in, letting you know what was going on in this moment. Yeah. And this was, I really don't know. I felt so much fear to call you back then, or ask you if I could call, and to just tell this, because I think I never did that before. Like, because one of my big fears is being too much or being too needy, and I thought that when I'm showing you how needy I am, you're going to run anyway. And
because this is what happened to you in other occasions. Yeah. So actually this is what it's about. Just daring to be present with everything. My mouth sometimes looks so non-expressive. So sometimes when I watch myself, I feel the need to talk more like this. But yeah, so it's just being that, and just throw overboard the fear of hurting the other one, because I know I have hurt Priska already, and she has hurt me. But it was all for a good cause. And this may sound crazy, because how can you hurt someone for a good cause? Well, I think the good cause is yourself most of the times, because I love Priska like up in the highest sky above. But in the end, it is about what I need and what I want to give myself. And if this is expressing some kind of truth of mine, then she has to hear it. And most of the times, it creates magic actually, if you do that. Because that gives a platform to discuss things that happen, and to look each other straight in the eyes and just say what it is and what it does to you and how you feel with it and what it triggers, and if it is connected to old inner wounds you still have and which are not healed yet.
Yes.
So this is very, very important.
Yes, because I'm still in my story. Sorry.
Just go.
Because when this happened, and when I could open up in this situation and tell you that I actually needed you, even if I knew that you couldn't do anything about it, but just expressing it healed something in me. And I saw that you didn't even want it to. You didn't want to save me. Of course, you wanted me not being in pain, but you didn't want to save me. And this felt so good somehow, because I felt like you're staying with yourself, and you're trusting also me that I can handle my shit. And still, you weren't running away. You were just present with my pain. Mm-hmm. And this healed me. This actually healed me. So I'm very grateful that I dared to open up, and even also when you dared to open up with stuff, like when you were still in your partnering phase. I mean, this was very hard for both of us, but I was so grateful that you took me along on this journey, even if you knew that I'm going to
be insecure.
Yeah, because we just talked about it before. I was always afraid that actually at one point he could go back to his ex-wife, because I was like, I saw these different times that there came a new person into a relationship, and in the end it brought the original couple even closer together. And even if I didn't want to believe that, there still was this fear somehow up to some point.
Yeah, and I knew about this fear, and what I would have done a couple of years ago if I would have feelings about, for example, I have had some issues with that. I really thought that the whole divorce thing happened too fast. Or not a divorce thing, but me already being in a relationship with Priska and still being married and having to divorce, and like this voice in my head always told me, yeah, but you first have to close your old relationship, then take time for yourself, a couple of months or whatever, maybe a year, or and then you can go on into a new relationship. And I really felt this fear many times, and because I knew of her insecurity about this, me might going back to my ex-wife, what I would have done like a couple of years ago is not telling this to her, because I didn't want to make her insecurities bigger. But at some point, I it, it's all about daring to be there, and so I expressed this as well, and I knew she would be hurt. But I think if you are in a relationship, you have the obligation to share. You have the obligation to be present. You have the obligation to show what is like deep inside here. Because otherwise, you will never. I don't know the words.
There's no in Dutch.
Nee, not even in Dutch I know the words.
You're never going into the depth or in the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. Because in the end, it's all about truth. My truth, Priska's truth, our shared truth. Um, and if you're withholding and if you are constantly focusing on what your emotions or fears or thoughts might do with the other one, then there is no way you can grow together.
Yeah, because I think you're building up some kind of a fence.
Mm.
Actually, you build it up to protect the other, but you also keep the love from flowing directly, because then there's this fence as well.
Yeah.
And yes, I can also say from my perspective, because we also always agreed on the fact that we wanted to be super honest with each other on every step of the way. And actually, this fact brought me through the whole thing, shizzle.
Yeah.
The first half year, to know, also before actually, not just the half year I have been here, but this was the hardest part because I was all on my own. But then I just knew where you were,
Yeah.
where you were standing in your process, and you let me in. That you let me be part of it, and I didn't feel closed out of this part of this process, even if it was a part that was not a nice one for me. Mm-hmm. But you took me with you on this journey, and yeah, and this is what made it also very beautiful and sacred.
Yeah. And it's not all about big things, because you can be honest about small things as well. Like when I'm in the kitchen and I come home from work and Priska jumps at me and hugs me. the most common thing I think people do is like, okay, cramp up because you don't feel like you have the space for it. But okay, let her hug me, and then she has her thing, and I didn't hurt her, haven't hurt her. But in the end, it's about just telling her, whoa, I really need my space now. Can you please back off? And not in a nasty way, of course. If you do it from love for yourself and for the other one, then you can express everything.
Yes.
Like I think it was yesterday. Maybe you tell it.
Which
like
one?
My sigh.
Oh yeah, true. Yes, and just I will tell about the sigh, but before, actually, with the hug thing, I think you didn't even tell me because it was new to yourself.
Mhm.
But I felt it, and I asked you, "Is there something up? Do you need some more?" And then you were telling me, "Yes, I think I need," because you weren't aware, because I felt you were like, "Oh," and so
Yeah, so that's an important thing. Sometimes there
to
are
address stuff. If you
sometimes there
feel
are
shit,
feelings that you don't feel yet yourself,
yeah,
or you might feel but cannot put a thought, attach a thought to it, and then it helps as a partner to just say, okay, I sense something now. Is everything okay? Am I too close? Then you can help the other one to get things clear from here.
exactly. It's the same with the sigh story, because it was in the evening, I think 2 days ago or 1 day ago, I don't even know, and we were going to bed, I think, and whatever, and he sighed like, and I said something before, and usually I would just okay, 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 because it sounded very nervous. Yeah, he sounded like, oh my god, fuck off, bitch, something like that. It really sounded like that, and and then I asked, is something, and he was like, nay. And I was like, yes, there is some big issue. But then normally I would just, my back or old me would just have backed off and be pissed with him, because I thought, just tell me what you have, stupid asshole, seriously, otherwise we cannot change anything. But then I tried to breathe once and asked him, sorry, asked him what this made with him, that I asked why he sighed. If it took him some kind of freedom, or if he felt controlled by me, if I asked him why he was sighing, stuff like that. And you just stayed present with me. You didn't shut down in sense of, but he really took his time, and he really tuned in and said, no, no, I'm not feeling like you're taking my space. And I was sure I was taking his space, because this is a story, yeah, of mine, because of my past, that I was people taking the space. But then he was like, no, I'm just not used to that. That people ask me when I'm giving signs of something, that people ask me what it is. So I'm just not used to it, and this confuses me. So, and then I asked him if I should not do it anymore, and he was like, yes, do it, please do it, because I want to feel into that. I want to be more aware what that does to me when you ask me what I do or why I do it, or yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about, and I know this is fucking hard because I still fall in the booby trap of not knowing or not addressing feelings that go within. But it's about creating some sort of consciousness to take time when you feel something, and maybe you don't know yet what it is, but then your partner may ask, okay, I noticed something, is something wrong? To take the time to go within and to really try to get to that feeling, and try to discover what it tells you or what it is attached to or whatever. Because I think most people, and now I might be generalizing, but I think most people, when something gets close and they don't know, they don't have clarity yet, they do like this. They shut themselves off. So I think it's like if you are in a relationship, well, mostly in a relationship, but I think it's important in all kinds of connections, actually, also at work or with your children. I think it's key to go within and if it might help you to just breathe to the place where you feel it, and then just open up again.
Yeah.
And then you can help each other heal, or help each other grow, or help each other to reach like this place where something needs to be done.
It keeps the connection alive. It needs the connection alive, because I think everybody's first reaction when you get hurt, when you were sighing and I asked you and you were like, nay, I was like, oh, fuck off, like it's like this. And he was first fucking off, and then I wanted to fuck off as well, and then just that we both.
That's the child.
Yes, it was just and I just wanted to, talk to my hand if you don't talk to me, but then just breathe a moment, and then you breathing a moment, and then just reconnect, and then we had the connection again. And then because when I wouldn't have asked, and if you wouldn't have felt into this feeling, I would have thought, oh, again, I'm taking somebody's space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't about that. It was not about me taking his space. It was me doing something he was not used to, and he being overwhelmed with what I did, or these feelings that were lying beneath it. And this is just one of many examples that happens to us, I think.
Yeah, and like most of the time, the child pops up doing like fuck off this, and I think it's okay. This child has a right to be there as well. So because you always hear like, then you are this vacant person. You always have to be above it, and you have to soothe your inner child. But no, just let the child be there. Just let it rant and rave and punch. Not really, of course.
Just be angry,
or sad,
or whatever.
Or calling your loved one names, or just pushing her away in a non-physical way. But have the guts. It's a combination between having guts and breathing. That sounds very spiritually. But breathing love into it, so that it's about staying connected. Because when you do this, you break the connection, which is fine for some time, but dare to create a connection again, and
you're just hurting yourself in the end.
Yeah.
Yes. And that because I was a lot of time used to that, I opened up, but the other one just closed down. So it really takes both, because you can be an open page book, and if the other one doesn't react on it.
Yep.
So it's really a game that has to be played from both sides. So
this was our video. And I have a question for you viewers. A very stupid one, actually. Because, how do you call this?
Camera.
The camera of Priska's laptop, the skin is peeling off, and half of it is a bit vague. I always have the feeling, because I'm sitting in the blurry side, that I look a bit like a corpse. Because my skin is a bit grey and I'm blurry, which is okay because you don't see my wrinkles.
You're such a moron, seriously. Yeah, and now it was the question to the viewers.
If they see that as well, because when I'm here, I think
you look so much more alive.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Okay.
Well, yet again, if you feel the need to comment, please do it
down below.
Well, we have email addresses.
Yes, we have now email addresses.
Email addresses like buzz@loverelationship.com or priska@.relationship.com. But if you want to address the two of us with one mail, it's
us@loverelationship.com.
And we also have our page now.
Like a Facebook page.
And if you want to, I think they can post there as well.
Of course.
If you have questions or remarks or please be brutally honest.
Yes, yes.
If you think that I'm talking bullshit, just address it to me.
If I talk bullshit, don't address it just when he talks bullshit.
And I'm really, really, really looking very forward to everything you have to share, because
Yes.
that helps us grow and learn as well.
Yes. And thanks for all the Rückmeldungen. Oh my goodness, for all the messages we got.
Messages,
yes,
and the thumbs up.
A thumbs
for,
up. For the
lovely
likes,
message.
yes. Like
Likes.
it was one day up and we already had over 200 likes. I mean, like, seriously, thank you.
Yes.
So that's
Okay.
it.
So thank you for watching again, and we hope to see you or
Subscribe.
read you or.
Oh, and by the way, if you don't want to miss these videos, please subscribe to our news or to our love letter. I will put the link below in the under the video where you can subscribe to our love letter, and then you will be informed whenever a new video is up. Yeah, and we won't miss anything that we're sharing with the world. Maybe video or whatever will come in the future. Yeah. So that's it now.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.